25 Rivian R1T dual motor is good. 25 R1T tri-motor, that's better. 25 R1T quad motor, best of all. Why is that? Let me show you. Quad motors means 4 motors, 1 motor controlling each wheel. The power output for this thing is 1,025 horsepower and 1,198 pounds-feet of torque. Why they couldn't find 2 extra pounds-feet of torque in order to make it an even 1,200, I don't know. But Rivian says that it enables this thing to go from 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. That's 0.4 of a second faster than the tri-motor can do it, which is supposedly 2.9 seconds. And with its big battery pack, the thing has a range of up to 374 miles in normal mode and up to 400 miles if you push the conserve button on the drive modes and actually are, very careful in the way you're driving. But the beautiful thing about this truck and the tri-motor and the dual motor is that the ride quality has been so vastly improved for the 2025 model year, for the Generation 2 truck, that it's just night and day. Even with these big wheels and tires, the ride is exceptional. Now, you have an extraordinary amount of control and adjustment here in terms of your drive modes. You can also adjust ride feel independently and steering feel and regeneration strength and how strongly you want it to apply the regenerative brakes when you lift off the accelerator. That enables one-pedal driving, but it also enables you to shut it off entirely if you really don't like that feature. But the amount of control that you have over the various systems in here is fantastic, and you can tune the thing basically to however you like it. But the reason to get the quad motor over the tri-motor really starts to come into effect off-road, which is not something I can unfortunately show you right now, because it allows you to have the kick turn feature. And the kick turn kind of selectively brakes or employs a spin on the left and right side wheels so that it can actually almost fishtail you around a corner on soft surfaces. So that's pretty cool as well. And it's useful if you're off-road. Not something the tri-motor can do, but it's something the quad motor does. So that is kind of the added benefit for it. On-road, the thing drives like pretty much any of the other Rivians. It's calm, it's easy to drive, it's comfortable around town, but if you put it in sport mode, now you've got a slightly different throttle mapping, a little bit different suspension feel. You can still adjust it if you like, but it firms things up, but it really does give you quite a bit more acceleration when you're calling for it. And being an electric vehicle, it has all of that torque on tap at 0 RPM, meaning it launches you hard and it pushes you back in the seat and it makes your eyes squish and it blurs your vision a little bit. This is essentially the equivalent of a Lucid Air Sapphire. And if you're not familiar with that, you should go look up for my video on that. The Lucid Air Sapphire sedan, but with a pickup bed. And that's an extraordinary thing. So when you put the thing in launch mode and you give yourself some extra room, you can experience some of the acceleration that this thing doles out. Jesus Christ. It's addicting. Just like the Lucid Air Sapphire's acceleration, it is addicting. You have all of this incredible speed, incredible torque, exceptional momentum, with no noise whatsoever. It's just silent electric motor whine, basically, if you get anything, but it's not a whole lot. And unlike a lot of other electric vehicles that are high performance, this one doesn't really have much in the way of making noise. It's just silent all the time. And I appreciate that. I don't necessarily need my electric cars to make noise. I think one of the best functions of electric cars is that they don't make noise. The tuning of the handling on this thing is extraordinary. You would never guess necessarily that this is a 7,000-pound pickup truck. It handles tight with exceptional feedback, really great steering feel. I've driven the tri-motor on some of the Malibu Canyon roads, sadly, before a lot of them were unfortunately burned up. But the thing's balance is exceptional. You can steer the thing in corners with just your throttle foot. It is an exceptionally well done, well balanced sports machine. But when you don't want that, boop, put it in all-purpose mode. Now you've got an all-purpose truck. It'll haul, it'll carry people, it's plenty spacious, it's really nice. I do like driving it, I gotta say. Are they perfect? No. Putting everything in the touchscreen still annoys the hell out of me. Why can't I have mirror controls on the door? Why do I have to dig into screens every time I want to adjust a mirror or the steering wheel? I realize you pretty much get in it once, you set it, it remembers, fine. But if you have multiple drivers, or if you're getting in one not very frequently and you do have to adjust something, it's annoying. More annoying are the climate control vents that you also have to go into the touchscreen to adjust. That's annoying, especially for people that you have as passengers who aren't necessarily familiar with how this works. I can't imagine my 82-year-old mother trying to figure out how to adjust the vent to get the AC to stop blowing on her by fiddling with the touchscreen. And I don't want to have to do that as I'm driving down the highway. So there is such a thing as going too far with technology when you don't really need to, just in order to save a buck and to simplify the build process. Some things are manual for a reason and should stay manual for a reason. How much more does a new quad motor cost over the rest of the R1T lineup? Quite frankly, it's not all that much more. Yeah, this one starts at about $116,000, and the example you see here is about $123,000. And that is significantly more than the base price of a standard dual motor, standard range battery pack R1T, which is about 70 grand. But when you load up an R1T tri-motor with the extended range pack, it's only really a few $1,000s more expensive. Now, is it worth it to pay that much more money for a quad motor over a tri-motor? Well, it kind of is in some cases, but it's going to depend on your use case. Off-road, yeah, it probably is, because you have the increased abilities that come with having the kick turn. That only comes with the quad motor. On-road, probably not as useful, quite frankly. So spending that extra money is really only going to be worth it to you if you absolutely have to have the quickest, most incredible accelerating electric pickup truck on the market. And in that case, well, the quad motor is kind of an easy decision. If you'd like to learn more about the new Rivian R1T Quad-Motor or any of the 2025 Rivian lineup, look everything up at Cars.com/news.